Bonjour à tous. Good morning, everyone. Before I get started, I want to speak very quickly about the call I had earlier this morning with President Zelensky of Ukraine. The President and I discussed our shared concerns about recent Russian military activity and ongoing aggression in the Donbass and in Crimea. On our call, I reaffirmed Canada's unwavering support and friendship for Ukraine's sovereignty and territorial integrity, as well as our commitment to further deepening our long-standing friendship with Ukraine. Pour beaucoup de gens, la longue fin de semaine a été l'occasion de faire des réunions de famille sur Zoom ou de passer du temps à l'extérieur. Mais ce n'était pas un congé pour tout le monde. Aux quatre coins du pays, des infirmières, médecins, traceurs de contacts, des membres du personnel de la santé publique étaient au travail. Ils sont là pour assurer notre sécurité et on doit en faire autant pour eux. Ce qu'ils nous disent et ce que toutes les modélisations confirment, c'est que la situation est très préoccupante. Around the world, countries are facing a very serious third wave of this pandemic. And right now, so is Canada. This isn't the news any of us wanted, but hospitalizations are surging. ICU beds are filling up. Variants are spreading, and even people who had convinced themselves they didn't need to be concerned are getting sick. Even if the sun is shining and the weather is getting warmer, COVID-19 isn't done with us yet. And that means we all have to hold tight a little longer. Later today, I'll speak to Premier Ford about the situation in Ontario. I know we'll talk about what the spike in cases means for hospitals and the importance of vaccinating as many people as possible, as quickly as possible. We'll continue working together to keep Ontarians safe and support people and businesses through this next wave. On that note, I'll also be speaking to all premiers tomorrow about our continued and shared work to protect and support all Canadians right across the country. Tant qu'on n'aura pas vacciné le plus grand nombre de personnes possible, il faudra continuer à se protéger les uns les autres en suivant les conseils de santé publique. Un peu partout, dépendamment de l'augmentation ou de la diminution du nombre de cas, les règles devront être modifiées. L'Ontario, la Colombie-Britannique et le Québec ont déjà fait le choix difficile mais nécessaire de prendre des mesures plus strictes pour freiner la montée en flèche des cas. C'est pas facile et on sait que les mesures vont peut-être devenir encore plus strictes, mais c'est ce qu'il faut faire. On fait ça pour sauver des vies. We need to flatten the curve to save lives. To young people, you've made tremendous sacrifices over the past year to protect your parents, grandparents, and the heroes on the front lines. Thank you. You are saving lives. We need you to keep doing this a while longer. If you can stay home, please do. And to frontline workers, I know you're tired, exhausted. I know you're really scared about what the coming weeks could bring because you're seeing the seriousness of these new variants and the spike in cases. You have done an unbelievable job over the past year. Know that we will continue to be there for you, and we will get through this together. If you need to take time off because you're sick or self-isolating, we've made sure the Canada Recovery Sickness Benefit is still there for you and any worker who needs it. In fact, we've added 2 more weeks to that benefit. Go to canada.ca to see how you can qualify because no one should be going to work sick right now. Of course, if you need PPE on the job, we're continuing to get you that. And above all, we're working around the clock to get vaccines delivered. Vous connaissez probablement des gens qui ont reçu leur première dose, ou peut-être l'avez-vous reçue vous-même. Vous savez donc que chaque dose compte. On a déjà livré plus de 10 millions de doses de vaccins aux provinces et aux territoires. On n'a pas seulement atteint notre objectif pour mars, on l'a largement dépassé. Et à partir de maintenant, les doses vont continuer d'arriver de plus en plus vite. Ce mois-ci et le mois prochain, on va recevoir plus d'1 million de doses par semaine de Pfizer seulement, en plus des livraisons de Moderna et AstraZeneca. Plus tard ce mois-ci, Janssen va aussi commencer à livrer son vaccin au Canada. Et comme je l'ai dit la semaine dernière, Pfizer a confirmé qu'ils allaient devancer 5 millions de doses pour juin. Ces doses étaient prévues pour la fin de l'été. On va maintenant les recevoir plus tôt. La ministre Anand et son équipe, ainsi que l'Agence de la santé publique du Canada, travaillent sans relâche pour devancer et coordonner les livraisons. On fait tout ce qu'il faut pour que les vaccins puissent être administrés le plus rapidement possible. Our government is delivering over 1 million doses a week to the provinces and territories, and we'll keep making sure these vaccines get to people as quickly as possible. As Deputy Prime Minister Freeland announced, we're providing additional support to the provinces and territories for their pressing needs on vaccine rollout. The federal government has paid for the vaccines, and we're happy to continue to help with more resources as needed. Because this is no time to go back and forth over who should pay for what. This is the time to do everything we can together to get as many people vaccinated as soon as possible. From day one, beating COVID-19 has been a Team Canada effort. Last summer, we delivered $19 billion through the Safe Restart Agreement to support the provinces and territories on what Canadians needed to get through this crisis. That money has helped with everything from additional staff at seniors' homes in Alberta, to modeling in BC to help keep communities safe, to mobile testing in Nova Scotia to reach rural areas. Today, we're delivering on the final installment for that Safe Restart Agreement. Our priority is for funding to go where it's needed most, whether it's for patients in hospitals, PPE for essential workers, or COVID-19 testing and screening for people on the front lines. Tout comme le premier versement, l'investissement de 700 millions de dollars annoncé aujourd'hui dans le cadre de l'accord sur la relance sécuritaire permettra d'assurer la sécurité des gens et d'aider les familles et les petites entreprises à traverser cette tempête. De tout l'argent investi au Canada pour lutter contre cette pandémie, 8 $ sur 10 provient du gouvernement fédéral. On veut aider les gens à traverser cette crise et faire en sorte que notre pays soit en bonne position pour rebâtir en mieux. Before I end this morning, I want to take a moment to recognize that this will be an especially difficult day for a lot of people. It's now been 3 years since the terrible Humboldt Broncos crash. Today, we remember 16 people taken from us much too soon. And as we do, we stand with the families, friends, and teammates whose lives were changed forever. To people grieving across the country, we're thinking of you. I can only imagine how hard it is for you not to be able to gather on this day. And to everyone who continues to recover and rebuild, your strength is remarkable. Every day, all Canadians stand with you.